Hi friends, Jeffy G here. This is part 2 in my series of Inspirational Sounds, doing vocal alternatives. In part 1, I covered virtual instruments and some sound sources that do vocals from a synthetic point of view, and I covered things like M-voice. But I kind of skipped over sampling, which is what I'm going to do here in part 2. If you didn't see part 1, there's a link up above and in the description below. Be sure to take a look. Of course, the key with sampling is taking samples, breaking them up, using bits and pieces of those vocals to make your own vocal line. And I'll give you some examples in this video. Just continuing on our theme, you could replace traditional vocals with samples. And there's a lot of different sources for those samples. Let's just take a look within Logic with the delivered content. If you go into the clip browser and search for vocals, you're going to see there's some familiar vocals in there.
Come on, come on, come on, come hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it.
Music, attention.
Yo, 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 yo. Scooby-Doo-up-boo-bam.
So there's some fun examples in there that you could just drag in. Okay, here's an example where, so I want to use that ooh. I drag it into Logic. I'll just solo that track. If that isn't the right key, you can press Option down arrow. And you can change it a semitone at a time. So it does fit into the key of the song that you're working with. I want to increase that to a different key. In that case, changing the pitch but keeping the time the same. So that's one option. Another good source for samples, in my case, I tend to use ADSR Sample Manager. I like ADSR Sample Manager because it is a generic library tool that's pretty extensive, and I have many libraries as part of it, things that I might not use every day, but I just like the way it works. It's pretty simple and it's free. So if I go into my favorites and take a look around, I've got some male voices.
G, F.
You know, any of these could potentially be the beginnings of a vocal line. Breathy female, that one's a good one. Down here at the bottom.
If you give me love, I'll give it back to you. Satisfy my needs, I'll satisfy yours too.
Now, if that isn't in the key that you want, one of the nice features of ADSR Sample Manager is you can change the key. So it's currently in E if I need to lower that to D.
If you give me love, I'll give it back to you. Satisfy my needs, I'll satisfy yours too.
You could see where you could take samples like that, drag them into Logic, and they might become the basis for the vocal line of one of your songs.
If you give me love, I'll give it back to you.
And once again, if you further need to adjust the pitch of that, you can press Option up or down.
If you give me love, I'll give it back to you.
And just one more example, if you're using the quick sampler, I'm looking at my untagged loops, and I've got one here.
Yo.
It's just a single one shot of yo, but if you drag that into Logic and make it a quick sampler, it will use the sampler, and wherever you play that note on your keyboard, it's going to play that pitch. So one option is that you can actually play a melody with just that one yo, and it'll tell you in the sampler that the root key for that is C3. Now, from a practical point of view, it's best to stay close to the original pitch to get the best quality. Here's a song where I've incorporated some of those vocal samples just to show you how it sounds in the end. You get an idea of what the song is like, And in this section over here, it's got some vocals. There's another one over here. So that's just an example of how I've taken samples, I've changed them to match the key of the song, and I've strategically placed them in the song in place of where a normal vocalist might have sang. So if you're going to go down this road of using vocal samples, where do you get them? Well, one option is a subscription service like Loopcloud. I belong to Loopcloud, but you might have Splice or Sounds or one or the other. And if you do a search for vocals in their library, you're going to come across packs. The nice thing about these subscription services is that you can usually preview the samples to see if it's something that you want. So in those cases, you can download or buy an entire pack. And in many cases, they have some free. So in this case, there's 10 samples that are free in this pack, and I could download those and try them out. Another source is ADSR, as well as your library, which you may have stored all of your free samples that you've downloaded and stored locally. They also have a store. They are a store. That's the business that they're in, of selling sample packs. If you click on the store and search for vocals, you're going to get a long, long list. Lastly, if you're looking for more free, there's a lot of places you can look online. The Cinematics website usually has sample packs they give away for free. Right now, there's a free pack of hi-hat and MIDI loops. And there are some other sources that I have found really good. One of them is Signature Samples. Right now, you can get this Percussive Beach sample pack for free. There's other websites like this Blue Zone one that have dozens of free sample packs that you can download. Cinematics is quite extensive if you look through their library. Even the sample packs that they charge money for are fairly inexpensive, $30 or $35. Another one to look at is Ghost Hack. They have, again, free sample packs to get your library started. You can listen to them, try them out. There are some that are specific to vocals. There is a whole website called Looperman where all of the samples on Looperman are free. You set up an account and you can browse through. You can sort by category or key, beats per minute. And this is good if you're looking for something specific. Another source I have found good is Sample Science. They've always got some free, interesting samples. Some of them are vocals, some of them are drums, some of them are melodic. And then another source I found really good was Music Radar magazine has a really extensive library of samples. See here, it's 81,655 free samples that you can download. I will put links to all of these things that I've mentioned in the description. If you're looking for vocals, this is how you can get started. Hey, the whole idea here is not really to replace human vocal lines in your compositions. It's just giving you alternatives to the traditional approach. There are genres of music today that don't demand quite as much out of the vocal line, in which case synthetic or alternative vocals might do the trick. And it's a fun experiment to play around with. If this is the kind of content that interests you, help me out by subscribing to the channel, click on the like button, and leave your opinion in the comments. Thanks.